Hello, and welcome back to the Bright Light Wellness YouTube channel and the healing, nope, and the Bright Light Wellness Substack. I'll get used to that eventually. I changed my Substack to Bright Light Wellness as well. So welcome back. Happy to be here with you today, chatting about symptoms because this is such an important topic, and I feel like I need to just talk about it every single minute of every single day in order for people to understand how the body truly works. And that's not your fault. It's totally conditioning that we've been led to believe that symptoms are against us, they're the enemy, they have to be squashed, right? And that's not healing, that's symptom suppression. And we need to work with the body, not against the body, in order to actually support it and support those symptoms to complete the healing cycle, because the symptoms mean that your body's in the healing phase. And for the body to heal completely, to complete the healing cycle, okay, you're going to have symptoms because the body cannot heal without symptoms, right? That's just how the body heals. It is impossible. Think about if you cut your finger, right? It's going to get red, it's going to get swollen, it's going to sting, it's going to burn. It's going to the body's going to send inflammation there, but it's also going to send nutrients and repairing the tissue to repair the tissue. That's the healing phase, right? And when we have a cut in our finger, we don't think, "Oh no, this is never going to heal." We don't like worry about it like we do when we have chronic things that come to us. Sorry, my dog's distracting me. We the worrying about those chronic symptoms is what makes them chronic. Okay. But we don't do that. Our minds are what get in the way. Okay. But we don't do that when we have like a little cut. We're like, oh, that's going to heal on its own. We don't stress about it. We don't worry about it. Okay. Let's slow this train down because I'm getting overzealous and excited. Symptoms are the healing phase. I'll say it again. When you have active symptoms, your body is attempting to heal. It has started the healing phase, the healing cycle, and it is attempting to reach homeostasis. That means balance, okay? That's what happens when you're having symptomology. This is an attempt for your body to heal, okay? Without symptoms, the body does not heal. It's not possible. And the body is always healing and always a self-healing machine. So day in and day out, we are probably going to have mild symptoms. Okay, now something when symptoms become chronic, that's because our worrying minds get in the way. That's because we're overanalyzing, we're overthinking about things. If we didn't do that, I'm not sure that symptoms would actually become chronic at this point. But I think that's a real big reason of why they become chronic. It's also emotional suppression, ancestral stuff. Sometimes it's stuff we're carrying that's not ours. Sometimes it's baggage that we brought down with us to this life. But it's greatly has to do with our mind getting in the way, okay, and not allowing us to heal, complete the healing cycle. Okay. This has been one of the biggest shifts in understanding health is realizing that symptoms are not the enemy, okay? Symptoms are evidence that the body is actually trying or actively trying to restore balance and heal. Modern culture, this is the modern conditioning that we're in, teaches us that health means having no symptoms. But biology will tell you a different story, okay? Symptoms are an intelligent response. The body is constantly working to maintain balance. We call this homeostasis and to protect us, to keep us safe. So the more things we perceive as unsafe and the more hyper vigilant we become, the more that the body's like, oh, I gotta put my defenses out. I gotta put my defenses out, right? Hello, autoimmunity. Hello, overactive immune systems, right? That's your body trying to protect you. Your nervous system, your body is doing exactly what it's designed to do. Okay. Symptoms are an adaptive response rather than a mistake. Think about a fever. It helps stimulate the immune function and it helps remove what doesn't belong in us. You're actually, Teddy, no, sorry. You actually, when you have symptomology, okay, from a fever, what you're doing is you're actually increasing heat in the body, which is actually increasing exclusion zone water. And it's actually helping the body. Fevers are great. They're helping the body remove what doesn't belong. It's how we burn up toxins that don't belong in our system. Diarrhea, vomiting help us remove substances that the body perceives as harmful. So if you are exposed to some rotten meat that didn't go well for you, right? It's really just a lot of just microbes in that meat that you couldn't really like that was too powerful. It's like you ate like a whole jar of sauerkraut and your body like couldn't actually handle all those microbes, or you drank from a stream that had water in it that had different microbes that you have not been exposed to. So the body's like, oh, what do I do with all these things, right? Like it's trying to figure it out. And those microbes are just helping your body maybe purge something. I'll never forget this. This was in New Mexico. We had traveled down to Taos. Oh my God, beautiful place to go visit. And we visited like an old village that was still an active village down there. And there was a beautiful stream where they drank water from. And I said, well, are we allowed to drink this water? And she said, no, you'll get very sick because your body's not used to the microbes that are in that stream and it could make you sick, not because of the microbes made you sick, because you're introducing new microbes into your body that the body's like that are going to shift things and probably shift things in your body, which would probably be healing for you overall. However, it's something that your body would have to adapt and get used to because those microbes might not be something you live with microbes in your body, hundreds of thousands of them, but that might not be one that you have in your body. So now this is a new microbe coming in with these old microbes, and they're just trying to find balance again. It's just the body trying to reach back to homeostasis. Mucus production, coughing, help clear irritants, help clear debris out of the body. Inflammation brings nutrients, like I said, when you cut your finger, right? Brings nutrients to immune cells and damaged tissue, right? Fatigue forces rest so energy can be redirected towards repair. When I have a client, these are all like amazing homeopathic healing responses, by the way. So if I give a remedy and someone's like, I've been really tired this last week, I'm like, great, you need to rest because the body's trying to redirect the energy towards the healing and it's telling you to slow the F down and take a break. If there's mucus coming out and coughing, also fine. If there's diarrhea and vomiting or a fever, oh my goodness, that's the best response. That's what one of the reasons why I use homeopathic medicine is to help people bring fevers back because my sickest clients are the clients who never have fevers. They haven't had a fever in 30 years, right? So homeopathy can help stimulate that, can get the body stronger. So all of these processes are powerful and serve a purpose in the body, right? They're not a mistake, they're not random, they serve a purpose. Um, and truthfully, healing is often messy and it doesn't always feel good. I'll be honest with you. When the body finally has enough energy and resources to repair, symptoms can temporarily increase. And that's because the body's finally like, oh, I can let this out. Like when people get a skin rash after a remedy, that's a common response because the skin is the largest organ of detoxification. So the body's like, I've got all this toxicity in me. Oh, I can finally let some out through the skin and it lets it out, right? And I know it's annoying and it sucks, but that's how the body is healing, okay? Um, so some other examples, I just said skin eruption, but there can be increased drainage or mucus. Like I might have a mucusy cough for a little while, a skin eruption, more frequent bowel movements because the body's releasing something. Emotional releases like grief or anger or tears. All of a sudden you're really angry and you're letting out a lot of anger. All of a sudden you're sitting down and you're sitting and letting out all this grief that you haven't been able to process, right? Because these emotional that's part of healing. That's a part of purging. This emotional stagnation needs to be moved through the body. Temporary fatigue as the body prioritizes recovery. Many people will interpret these things as getting worse when sometimes they are signs that healing mechanisms have just been reactivated. The nervous system feels safe enough to actually start. It has enough energy and vitality to move through things to release what doesn't belong, or it feels safe enough to remove things that don't belong. Um, Symptoms require vital energy. So a body that is too depleted may stop producing strong symptoms altogether. So examples with this would be like elderly people have severe infections with no fever. So they have an infection, but they don't have a fever because the body doesn't have enough energetic capacity to mount a fever. I see this not in just elderly people. I see this in adults all the time who seem like they're healthy and they can't mount a fever to remove pathogens that don't belong in their body or toxicity that doesn't belong in their body. That's a sign of low vitality if you've not had a fever. And that's not to fear monger you in any way, but it's a sign like, hey, your immune system could use a boost here. Get a homeopath on your team. Chronically exhausted individuals might no longer mount robust inflammatory responses. So again, the vitality is low. They can't mount these inflammatory responses. Suppressed skin eruptions, that's a huge one, can disappear while energy where deeper issues are emerging elsewhere. So that's the a poor direction of cure when the skin eruptions would leave a person and deeper imbalances would ensue. And often when we suppress these things, that's what happens. Like a great example that's used all the time in the homeopathic world is I have eczema and I suppress it with some sort of steroid cream and now I have asthma. So it's gone deeper into the body. Or I used acne medication and now I have severe chronic liver and gut issues. Okay, that's not the goal here. So the goal, of course, is not symptom suppression. Health is not achieved by silencing every symptom. The question should be, why is the body producing this symptom? Instead of immediately asking, how do I make this go away? We say, what is my body trying to accomplish? What is it trying to accomplish with this fever? What is it trying to accomplish with these rheumatic joint pains that I have? What is my body not processing? Okay. How can I help it process? Supporting the body's processes often leads to more sustainable healing than suppressing them. We don't want to suppress symptoms. Again, that's why I'm a homeopath, because I don't suppress symptoms. I work with the body, not against the body. Okay. All right. So symptoms are information. They are clues of nutrient deficiencies, chronic stress, or overload, environmental exposures that you're being exposed to, emotional burdens, the body's priorities for healing. They are not enemies, symptoms. They are messages, okay? Now, not every symptom should be ignored, of course. If the symptoms are severe, that could be like about feeling like chest pain or heart attack or stroke symptoms or persistent high fevers, like there are times, of course, to seek medical professional care when they could be extreme and severe and need acute emergency care. The medical system is wonderful for acute emergency care. If you're having a heart attack, please don't come see me, right? I do have a lot of good remedies for heart attack, but you need to know that information. You can't get an appointment with me. You need to go to a medical doctor, an emergency care room, and get that treated, right? Because it's life or death, right? There's a difference. Okay, a different definition of health. True healing isn't necessarily absence of symptoms. And this was a tough one because I always thought when I was healed, and what is healed anyway, really, is another question that I ask. When I was healed, I wouldn't have perfect health and never have any symptoms. Well, that's actually not true because we're not robots. We're human beings who are always actively healing something, always trying to find balance again. And there are always going to be things that kind of tip us off balance. And then the body, when it's more resilient, it just comes back to balance a lot faster than it used to, right? So health is not really being healed or being absent or having no symptoms. Health is really adaptability, resilience, the ability to respond appropriately, the capacity to heal and recover. So sometimes the body has to express symptoms in order to move towards wellness, right? So symptoms are the language of healing. So rather than viewing every symptom as something to fight against, like they're enemies, we need to be asking, what is my body trying to do for me, right? And how can I support that healing phase? What can I do to support that healing phase? Rather than viewing every symptom as something to fight, we can be asking that. How do I support my body instead of fighting against it? Healing isn't always silent and sometimes need presence of symptoms. I mean, without symptoms, the body can't heal. That's what inflammation is trying to heal you. Some people say inflammation is the cause of all disease, I'm like, inflammation is trying to bring you back to health. That's a job. That's the job of the reactive oxygen species. That's the job. It's to help you heal. So we don't need to squelch them. We need to support them. Okay. And sometimes the presence of symptoms is evidence that the body's strength has responded. Like it has the strength to actually respond, right? So I hope this brought like a different level of understanding about symptoms and what they mean. As a homeopath, I never suppress symptoms. I support the body. I support symptoms. How can I support the body in moving through acute chronic illness, right? Um, and if we treat our acutes, I've said this so many times, Teddy, sorry. If we treat our acutes with homeopathics instead of suppressive medications, we are going to avoid chronic illness in the long run because when we suppress those symptoms, that's when we get chronic illness because we're suppressing what the body was trying to release. You're fighting against it. The body's saying, I don't want this. I need to release this. And then we suppress it and push it back in, and the body creates deeper pathology. So we need to understand that we have to support the body, not suppress the symptoms. Okay. So when we do that from a very young age, like if you have children, get a good homeopath in your team. Take my acute homeopathy courses. I have many. Influenza, one that covers like kidney, bladder, like UTI, kidney stones, all that kind of stuff. I have one that covers ear infections, which is quite common. I have a common childhood ailments. I have a first aid one. I have a women's course. Like you can learn how to use homeopathy at home. So this way you can support your children so they don't develop chronic illness down the line, right? Support those symptoms and help them go through the healing, right? And also just have faith and trust in your body that it's innately wise and strong and a self-healing machine and that it can heal. Like you need to also have that kind of it takes a lot of trust. I used to run to my doctor for every little thing for my kids and for myself. I mean, no matter what it was a sinus infection. I dealt with chronic UTI, so all the UTIs and all the yeast infections and all that got me was deeper suppression to those organs. Like those organs were so damaged from my bladder was literally so damaged from all those antibiotics. I mean, it was horrible. Antibiotics don't actually remove the infection, by the way. They just it's just suppressing it. It's still there. Anyway, that you stop the healing is basically what you just did. When you take a medication that suppresses symptoms, you just stop the healing phase. Like that when I understood that, everything changed for me. I was like, oh, like that is the worst thing you could do for your body. I don't want to fear monger you in that either because antibiotics can be needed sometimes in certain situations, but a lot of times they can be avoided. Okay, I hope this video was helpful. Let me know if you have questions. I'm more than happy to answer them for you. And yeah, let me know what you want to learn more about because I'm more than happy to share that too. So your questions can guide my next videos and what I should be sharing about next. All right, you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will chat with you guys soon.